Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Minnesota Lynx going to the WNBA Finals episode of East meets West, ladies and gentlemen. It's your
That's
boy
right.
Opinionated MJ. It's your boy Conrado Pascual. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we have a definitive WNBA Finals. Finally. Thank you, Lynx, because I was starting to get stressed out even towards the end of this game because just put them away. Come on, put them away. I don't. I'm seeing tweets about overtime. No, just put them away. Just put them away.
Worry
I
wart.
yeah, and I'm just happy. I'm happy that Fee is going to the finals finally. The story of Courtney Williams, just where she's been and her career trajectory and where she is now. Like for the WNBA fans that don't pay attention to those types of things, like really just basketball in general is a story. You know what I mean? At least it
Yeah.
is to me. It's a big story to me. And things storylines all play out everywhere. You know what I mean? Like the Aces is a storyline. The Liberty are a storyline where they were here last year and they got stomped. You know what I mean? But here they are now, and then the Lynx have been building, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're not building right," and then they just kept on adding pieces that still look like, "Oh, they're not building right." And for the last couple of years, I've just been like, I mean, it's by committee, and what I've learned is that length is more important than a lot of other things. So that's something that's developed into something. Fee had a baby, you know what I mean, and came back and been strong ever since. And Alana Smith showing up and being a key factor with this team, coming from her trajectory and where she's been coming on her path, and Maisha Hines Allen getting added at the last minute, Bridget Carlton emerging. Man, Kayla out here blazing three. She just had a flamethrower this year. So I don't know, man. Like I'm happy because I've been rooting for this team for a long time, like since Maya Moore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's my favorite player of all time. She trumped Cynthia Cooper when she came along, and lately it's been Nafisa Collier. So I'm happy. Yes, WNBA fans, I know y'all might be fans of somebody else. I love the Lynx. I love all the teams, honestly, but I love the Lynx because I've been following them probably the closest, other than a few players here and there. But enough of my ramble, mumbo jumbo. What's your observations or anything you want to kick in, introduce?
I mean, just right off the bat, um, we have Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty,
Hmm.
and well, I mean, I I don't think it was a bold take, a hot take, but in terms of our playoff preview, right?
Yeah.
We did make our predictions throughout the entire WNBA playoffs. So far, we've hit on every
Hmm.
matchup, right? So sure enough, we did predict a Lynx versus Liberty final. So not to really
Hmm.
toot our own horn, but I mean,
Yeah,
why did
toot
we
it.
do that? I mean, okay, I'm saying, hey, it's just it feels right. At least
Yeah.
when I was watching at halftime where they had like the Lynx were up like what
20,
15 or something.
or I thought it was
Or
21, wasn't it? It might have been. I forget the exact number.
I think they pushed it up to 20, like right out of the gate in the
Yeah.
second half. The point being was, like full control, like it
Hmm.
just felt like obviously yes, right? The Liberty and the Lynx had the top two records in the league. Um, but it's as you were saying, right? It's just the manner. Something I was reminded earlier or late last week was, I
Hmm.
mean, obviously results matter,
Right.
in any facet of life, not just professional sports, right?
Hmm.
But it's not just what you accomplish. It's how you accomplish these things, what you do along the way to get to where you're trying to get to. And like you said, I mean, the Liberty and the Lynx, they took two very different ways of getting there. In terms of like constructing their roster, the experiences that they've each faced in these last couple seasons,
Yeah.
but just how it all culminated for each respective team. This season, it just feels right. Like for me at least, I'll just speak for myself. It feels right that these are the two last teams standing.
Right.
Because make no mistake, right? Like if Connecticut had advanced, then of course they would have earned it. But it's like what you and Nick, Nick Andre were saying in our preview episode.
Yeah.
when the Connecticut are on, they're on and they look good, but they're not always, right? There's that inconsistency, like those lulls that they go through,
Mhm.
and for the Aces, I give them all the credit in the world for, you know, finding a little bit more rhythm, in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
But, they were an inherently flawed team all year, and they
Mhm.
were in the end, So that's what I'm saying. Like, I like that this finals, it's what we said again in the preview episode. Whoever wins, like, I feel like you could truly say, like, barring injuries,
Mhm.
so knock on wood, I don't want anyone to get injured. Barring injuries, whoever wins just is absolutely deserving. You
Right.
know, like I think we reasonably have expectations to see some high level basketball. So I
Mhm.
mean, that's just a reaction. That's not really like any in depth analysis. It's just I think yeah, in terms of given that there are a lot more eyeballs on the dub this season, you
Mhm.
know, like to the end, to the very end. Let's give them a good show. And I think these two teams are best equipped to do that.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
So,
And I just hope that this next series is pretty much what the season series has been.
yeah.
Lynx have won 3 out of 4, so 3-1. You know, going to knock the Liberty out. Let them go home and figure travel and all of that out where they're gonna go. And yeah, Lynx championship, please, for my amor, please, for my amor.
It would be
Yeah,
one hell of a story, you know?
yeah. So if you had to choose, like, I guess your pick for the finals, if we revisit that, was it the Lynx as well?
We
I
all did.
believe. Yeah,
Nick,
yeah,
we all picked Lynx. I think we said I think all of us were like Lynx in 4 or Lynx in
yeah.
5, you know?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Because they have
so
their number.
I mean, obviously it's playoffs, playoff adjustments and everything like that.
Hmm.
But I mean, I guess before we kind of like, touch upon that finals matchup himself,
Hmm.
did you have any final thoughts about the two respective semifinal matchups?
Um, I mean, well, the Aces, I thought they could have actually ran it to 5, but I mean, it's tough to three-peat. Like, they were dealing with injuries and dealing with adjustments like that, and then having like Chelsea come back at a certain time and try to make something happen from that point going forward. Like, I don't think they had enough time. I don't think she had enough time. You know what I mean? To get to
Yeah.
the best level of health she can get to. If she might be able to get back to old Chelsea. You know what I mean? And we seen glimpses, but it was late. You know what I mean? So if she had an extra 20 games to get ready, then I think the Aces would have been like a bigger deal. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
uh, it also sucks that like Candace Parker retired when she did. You know what I mean? Because that she would have been a difference maker. So it's those two things that's on the top of my head that say, okay, this kind of went left at the last minute, especially going into the season. Candace just retires after she's like, oh yeah, one more season. I know I'm going home, and understandably so. She's going to be a mom, so um and then dealing with Chelsea and then having like Kelsey and Jackie try to pick up the pieces and fill in the gaps, like, and then have Chelsea come back and try to fuse into that is like, and then have them kind of set back from what they were, the trajectory that they were on. Like, it's too much. The only like steady player was really Aja, you know what I mean? And yeah, we seen some Tiff Hayes here and there, and we seen like, I mean, well, no, we didn't really see like Megan. I thought Megan Gustafson was going to have a really good year for the Aces. And I think that if she had a year like she had last year, we would be talking differently about this finals right now. Like, it probably would be the Aces. And I don't think she fit like the way that they wanted her to. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they might have been banking on Candace to still be there. And then Meg is still there. I forget exactly how it went. I don't know if after Candace left, they signed Meg. But yeah, like, it was too much going about, you know what I mean? And I just feel like the Liberty did what they had to do, and they had like revenge on their mind, you know what I mean? Like, they came into this year like really focused, really trying to get the job done. Sabrina's game has expanded. Leonie Febich, like, man, you know what I mean? Veteran rookie. So and then just like they shuffled their roster around the way that they needed to, as far as rotations are concerned, anyway. And they figured it out. Like, we didn't really see John Coyle Poughton this year. She sacrificed her game a little bit more in
Oh,
certain,
big time, yeah.
you know what I mean? And Breanna Stewart went quiet, where it was, last year is, oh, Breanna Asia, Breanna Asia, Breanna Asia. We didn't really hear that loud, Breanna. We didn't hear that this year. And it's because she allowed her team to do what they were capable of doing. You know what I mean? Like,
She allowed Sabrina to do what she did.
and she
I'm sorry,
allowed Leonie
right?
too. Yeah.
Nah, Sabrina. The
I
noise was
mean,
all
yeah.
Sabrina this season. Like, let's be real, right?
I mean, but
Leone
not
is a
not
glue
really.
guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
Sabrina was like an engine at times. That's where the whole 1A 1B conversations kind of came in. You know,
yeah, but she came from nowhere because like she was hated last year. You know what I mean? And then Caitlyn came into the league and it's like, oh, we forgot Sabrina can actually do that. You know what I mean? She was doing it. Like, she first year was borderline averaging a triple double. You know what I mean? Like, people forget that, and it's because of the hype that was around the league. It was on the rookies. So it took the spotlight off of Sabrina, off of Brianna. And, they tried to take it off Asia, but she had such a great year that you couldn't take it away from her. You know what I mean? Like, she was like, I know the spotlight. No, just leave mine here. Just go get your own. And that's pretty much how the year went. So here we are with the Liberty that weren't talked about until towards the end of the year. And because they were the first seed, but this is the first number one seed that I've seen like have such a minimal amount of fanfare. Like, I'm not sure what the Liberty fans feel like, but I feel like outside of Liberty fans, it was a few of us, that actually pay attention to basketball that was putting some notice on them. And especially Sabrina, because I'm a Steph Curry fan. She worked out with Steph Curry over the summer and whatnot. You could see it in her game. So it was some things that those of us that really dig into basketball were paying attention to. But like, just overall, the casuals, no. It was more hype about the Lynx. You know what I
hmm
mean? So yeah, I mean, that's just really my observation. Like you said, this feels right, and whoever wins the championship is really the champion. You know what I mean? Like, they went through two hard hitting veteran teams. The Liberty went through the championship defending aces. So I mean, and the Lynx have been pretty much hitting the hammer on the nail on the railroad for a couple of years now, 2-3 years now, just trying to figure out exactly what worked. And here we are.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, going back to what you're saying with the Aces, I mean, they should have already. I think they did. So I don't actually give them a pass for that. They already had anticipated Candace Parker's retirement. You
You
know,
think so?
so oh yeah, so that's a failure
Hmm.
on their front office, right? Is that because, like I said, from start to finish, this is not hyperbole. This is not an exaggeration. They could never solidify their front court, and that's not really to knock on Alicia Clark or Megan Gustafson, but
They could have
yeah,
got
I mean,
Maisha.
yeah, I mean, what is it? The Liberty literally, the Liberty killed them with double drag screens the entire series. They had no answer for it
Yeah.
at any point. At any point, and that's what I'm saying. And it's the exact same play, and you can't stop it, and it's coming. That's got to be the most demoralizing thing. That's what I'm saying. All narratives aside, all storylines, all motivation, all emotions.
Mhm.
In terms of the X's and O's, you had no answer for that. At the
Right.
very least, a general manager, that's your job. Do I put it all on them? Well, definitely. Then GM needs to shoulder the blame. But as Becky Hammond said in their exit interview, I think yesterday,
Mhm.
the team will look a lot different, and rightfully so. And
Yeah.
again, that's not to disparage any of the players that were on the roster this year, but I mean, in order to do the things that they want to do or do the things that they need to do,
Right.
they were ill-equipped. They were ill-equipped to do it this year. So I mean, to me, it's as simple as that. And we kind of knew that. We've been talking about all year. They're not a particularly deep team.
Yeah.
I mean, they have I mean,
They
we'll
top
get
heavy.
into like an off-season, overview, at another time, but it's just um Like even, like in the NBA, you see kind of like this whole roster building philosophy. Like I don't, knock them for kind of having a bunch of like red shirt players, I guess you could call them, a bunch of like first year, second year players that saw no minutes. You're trying to develop for the future, but you kind of saw that they lacked options down the stretch. So I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
So
And,
I have a question.
Yeah, I probably have an answer. Go for it.
If okay, draft is coming, and this is a little preview of what we are going to do. But what 6 are you keeping on the Aces? Is it clear cut? Past 4 players?
Oh, on the Aces?
Yeah,
on the Aces.
I already know 4 of them.
I mean, there's easy. There's Asia, Jackie Young, Kelsey,
and Chelsea.
Hold on.
What? You not choosing Chelsea?
Probably. Yeah.
You gonna let Chelsea get away? Even not seeing her at full. What? Chelsea? The Chelsea that we seen against
she probably will.
The Seattle Storm going crazy?
She probably would. She probably would make the 6. All I'm saying is,
wow.
Like
okay,
I said,
go ahead. Be chaotic.
It's a period of transition. Let's not get away from like the NBA Finals. All I'm saying is, with a period of transition like that,
what you doing?
Because when it comes to the expansion draft,
mm-hmm.
you could essentially well, it's tough to say. It's tough to say because, like I said, we'll get into this. Like, there are a lot of reasons why she actually could be more valuable as a trade asset, as a trade chip, than an actual player.
Wow.
And we'll get into that another time, but
that's gonna be an interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, going to the Lynx and the Sun series, my biggest observation, I actually tweeted it finally tonight on Game 5, was something I never really understood. So we need to take that up with Connecticut's coaching staff. Okay.
Brianna Jones.
No.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows Fee is
Fee.
She's her.
Right. She's Fee.
She's her,
Phenomenal.
There's at no point do you take your eyes off of her, right? So what I'm saying is from the Sun, because you kept saying, right, if the Sun have a shot, it's going to be on the basis of their defense. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to say like they were overhyped for the people that believed in them, but like this idea that like their vaunted physicality, like
that they didn't show until the second half.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe against like the Fever, but not against the Lynx. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I didn't really I didn't see that being so much of an advantage, let's put it that way, over the Lynx. Like it's something that you can bring to the table, but I felt like the Lynx were, again, they were capable of matching that physicality, right. If not one-upping them, But going back to it, Courtney Williams, from beginning to end, was fantastic.
Yes.
Again, that's not a hot take. That's just a fact.
Revenge.
What I don't understand, though, is I noticed this in game. I noticed this the entire series, but I just didn't tweet too much. Like I didn't do too much live tweeting. Anytime, and she was on ball a lot, which I like. Right, relieve the pressure off Fee. Let Fee, do her work early, get an early seal. Really force them, to commit, in the paint, the defense that is.
Defensively.
But why this entire series, anytime Courtney Williams is on ball, they would throw 2 defenders at her.
Yeah.
And again, it was early in the possessions too. Like early, like well above the break. And yet she had like Kayla McBride on her right and Bridget Carlton on her left. And you're going to still try to blitz her early in the clock. Like, why do you think like the mathed? You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
Why
but
do you think that they're not only they're getting more open threes and they're also knocking down more open threes? Like, and I can understand what's even more demoralizing is that, like, even despite those doubles, she still cooked them off the dribble. Courtney Williams,
hmm
that is, you
yeah,
know. But I don't understand that. Like, you have Fee right already, like, down low. You have McBride, like I said, right. You have everybody spread out on the wings. Why are you doing that? Like, they're gonna get, and that's what I'm saying. Like, to the end, they kept doing it. I don't
trying to
really
get the
find that
ball out of her
admirable.
hands, trying not to let her initiate and let them keep on passing it and they run out.
See, but that would only work if your other wings aren't capable ball handlers. Like,
hmm
you could easily just give the ball to Kayla McBride and she has no problem handling the rock, like, and legitimately creating for herself or others. Like,
Right.
you know, it's kind of funny too, because let me ask you something, right? Okay, like Fee is the alpha on that team. She's
Mm.
number one. Who is the Lynx's number two? This will kind of go into our preview here for the final series. Who is the Lynx's number two?
It's between Kayla and Courtney. I would say Courtney
All right,
because Courtney unlocked this team.
that's fine.
Yeah. Like I mean Kayla's been there, and they've not been able to really get over the hump. You know what I mean? But then enter Courtney Williams and suddenly, you know what I mean? Like it added another dynamic to them. So if I had to just choose, I would say Courtney, but I'm not saying that diminishing Kayla in any way. Like her effectiveness this year from the three and being able to stretch the floor for the rest of the players too. You know what I mean? Because if she was like having a bad year from three, like shooting like 30% or something like that, 31,
Mm-hmm.
then this would be a different story. You know what I mean? Because then suddenly, are you asking Courtney Williams to take those threes? Are you forcing Bridget Carlton more shots from the three? You know what I mean? And then how much more does that allow for teams to pile up on Fee? You know what I mean? Because it's not like she can shoot the three, but she's not Kayla McBride from the three. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Right.
I would give it to Courtney.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great breakdown. And again, to reiterate what you said, it's not that you can diminish or make light of what Kayla McBride is doing. All I'm saying is I won't necessarily do it because I think you already made a great explanation.
Yeah,
But I think if I wanted to, I could make a compelling argument that Kayla McBride is the number two. You see?
yeah.
Now, what does it
I
matter?
mean,
What does it matter?
either
They're
way.
teammates. My point
hmm
is, like, this series just showed, like, if you overload the defense on any one player, they will burn you.
Yeah,
At least now for the season, I would say you're right. The number two is anyone. It's probably either Kayla McBride or Courtney Williams,
hmm
right? But this entire playoffs, right? These first two series, it's not even like an X factor. I think X factor, to me, calling
exactly,
any of their starters an X factor, I think that is a disservice to them. You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? Because I
hmm
could make an argument that in this series, like, Bridget Carlton was the two at times.
I mean,
You could make an argument Alana Smith was, especially if you consider, like, her paint presence, on the
yeah.
defensive end.
hmm I mean, you just echoing what I said on Nick's pod because I said this
Yeah.
ahead of the Commissioner's Cup. I'm like, what can you do against Minnesota? You think you're gonna stop them there? Then that's getting off. You still okay? That's getting off. We got to go stop that. You stop that, they're doing something else. Like, there's no way really to just. It's not even really a way to contain them. Like, you might have a good game where you can contain them, but you're not really gonna stop them. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
with Cheryl Reeve as their head coach, like, come on,
That's what I'm
she's gonna
saying.
figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? If there's an issue with what's going on the floor because of her game plan, like, she's gonna figure it out, and she's got all the players capable of doing that. Like, and then they added Maisha Hines Allen. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
No, no.
You know.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, no, no. All I was saying was, like, watching the game today.
Mm,
And once they started going, once they broke it up to a 21-point lead, they had like a 9-0 run.
hmm
They were just blanketing Connecticut. I kind of thought to myself, like, man, like I said, if this was any other team, you can
Mhm.
make an argument that everyone, Courtney Williams, Alana Smith, Kayla, um, Bridget Carlton, they could potentially be like a number 2 on any other
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Maybe not every team, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like they're
I agree.
capable. They have the talent, you know, they have the moxie. What I'm saying is like I'm watching it and I'm like, and it's probably because like NBA preseason's also on. Okay,
Mhm.
and they were playing, right? You and I were both split screening watching the Pistons game when
Yeah.
the Pistons played the Phoenix Suns. I thought to myself, like, the Minnesota Lynx have done what the Phoenix Suns tried to do the last 2 years, right? Where
Mm,
they've successfully mixed a bunch of guys who could be on ball, you know what I'm saying? Like on ball threats, but they've
right.
actually found the right balance. Phoenix is not, you know? That's
See,
what I'm
but
saying?
Phoenix doesn't, not defensively. Like they had a game against
No,
us
that's what I'm
today that
saying.
looked
I'm saying
like that
Minnesota
defensively.
has done what Phoenix has not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In theory, that is what Phoenix is trying to do.
And
And that's what I'm saying. Let's
I
cross
feel
court
like
now.
Phoenix doesn't. I don't know if I can fully agree with that because Phoenix, after their top heavy big three, it's not the same. Like Minnesota is like, you know what I mean? Like they're layered. And Phoenix was just
That's
like,
fair.
we
That's
got Kevin
fair.
Durant, we got Devin Booker, we're gonna outshoot you. You know what I mean?
That's not
Minnesota
see
doesn't have
that's
to
okay.
outshoot you.
I understand what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
not my point. My point is in terms of finding the right balance of both
Yeah.
offensive responsibility and
Mm,
actually finding a way to complement each other, you know? Like
right.
that's what I'm saying, you know?
Okay.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I'd say yeah, Minnesota is probably a lot more evenly
Thorough. They
talented,
they
you
just
know?
thorough.
So, um but all that's to say is that yeah, you know,
Mhm.
like in terms of even like the strength in numbers thing is what I'm saying. Like
Right.
again, I feel like that's almost insulting. The strength in numbers is supposed to be like, the sum of the parts are greater than the whole. Like, no, because I think like as just what you just said, individually, a lot of them are all above average to great,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we're sounding very biased here, with our assessment
I
of the links,
mean,
but it just really is, you
it's the
know.
truth. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Like
And like I said,
if I had to keep on borrowing from the NBA, this is about to be Spurs versus Heat.
perhaps.
You know what
No,
I
well,
mean?
yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what
Or
you're saying.
maybe Mavericks, honestly, versus the Heat. But except it's not year
No.
one for the Liberty. I mean, as far as like that team had Dirk, Kid. Well, Deshaun didn't play. Karan didn't play. Jason Terry. Who woke up? What's my man's name? People get what I'm saying if they watch the NBA. It's that team is much more layered. It's not just a put together then here plug and we got
Yeah.
it figured out. You know what I mean? Even though the Liberty have an extra year under their belt and they do have like a Kayla Thornton sitting on the bench. You know what I mean? So it's they do have more layers now and they are more defensive. They have a little bit. I would say they are better for sure than last year, even though Sloot has kind of taken a step back. And again,
Oh, they're better.
yeah,
They're definitely better.
prayers to her and her family for what they've been going through. But I just feel like, man, like, yeah, this Lynx team, if I had to make a call, it would be Lynx in three. I mean Lynx in four, I'm sorry. Ooh, that would have been mean. Lynx in three. I'm sure we'll get a
Well,
big sip win again.
wait. Let's before we make our final, because again, well, we did both pick the links in before the playoffs started.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're gonna stick with it. But so before we
Oh
lock
yeah.
in, just in case we want to revise our predictions before we officially lock it in, just don't have to do like a totally in depth, um, preview or
Right.
breakdown of this matchup because I think you and I,
We
our
did.
listeners, our viewers, we're all pretty familiar now with
Mm.
the Liberty and the Lynx, but just a couple things to maybe look out for. Okay, who do you pick as being an X factor for the Liberty?
Um considering the way that they know how to play John Quill, and that Leonie Febich has found her way into the starting lineup, Leonie Febich.
Yeah.
Because they can game plan enough for Sabrina. It just kind of depends on what Sabrina shows up. But if they can take John Quill out of it like they've been doing, and if they can try to contain the rest, this series is probably a wrap unless Leonie is like the X factor. Whatever things that John Quill could be doing, whether on the perimeter or in the paint, if Leonie can show up at least on the perimeter and force them to kind of give John Quill more space, because I don't think Leonie was like firing the way she is right now during any of those games. I mean, I would have to like really do a callback and go back and make sure I'm saying this correctly, but I don't know that she was like super huge in the games like she's been over the last 20 to end the season and in the postseason. You know what I mean? So it's Leonie definitely, and unless Kayla Thornton's coming off the bench and she's got a 20-pointer in her. You know what I mean? And you can't let her do that. That means the game is really away from you if you let that happen. And I just feel like the Lynx have enough. Again, they have enough length, and it's gonna be a problem. Like they'll have to try to, I guess, try to exploit Courtney Williams if they're going to try to win. But then it's like she's so scrappy. Like, how can you do that? So that would be my call. It would be Leonie.
Okay. I'd largely agree with you. Because to me, her offense is icing on the cake.
Right.
Like, I don't think they need, like, their game plan isn't dependent on her offensive production. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she's in the starting lineup because, on the basis of her defense.
Right.
I feel comfortable. I mean, we're at the end of the season here. I feel comfortable saying that she's one of the best point of attack defenders in the entire W.
Okay, so can she stop Fee?
I think she can give her hell.
You think so?
I really do.
Okay.
I think she can make life tough. But again, I don't think she'll be on her very much.
Okay.
Because like you said, it's not what she does on the wing offensively, it's what she does on the wing defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, Stewie, John Quell, they're gonna have to be prepared,
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, she can guard, like, she can defend guards, like smaller guards, really well. You know what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, height and length isn't really good, if you have a hard time balancing, but dang, she can get low, and so, we saw that, well, I mean, not that, Jackie Young or Kelsey Plum are short,
Right.
but I mean, she does have a significant height advantage. Have to crouch down, and actually get into their dribble. That's pretty crazy. So I agree with you. If it's like X factor, like someone who can like completely blow like a given game open, Sloot.
Yeah, out of left field too.
Coming off the bench, you could see it too. Like, she feels, not that she's ever been like trigger shy, she feels more, I think, empowered, more emboldened to just let it fly, now that she's with the second unit.
Right.
And so, you saw a couple games, she catches fire, a 1-point deficit can become an 8-point lead just like that. So I mean, that'd probably be my choice. What about for the Lynx? Who's your X factor? And because go ahead.
I mean, I can't really think of one. Honestly, like, they play like such a cohesive unit. I mean, if I had to choose, it would probably be Bridget Carlton, but
okay.
Or maybe Alana Smith guarding Febich if that's what she ends up doing. But other than that, like, I mean, it's between those two. You know what I mean? Being that they're playing a bigger position, so they're going to see JJ and Brianna, unless, they try to throw Fee on them, which I doubt. But they kind of play team defense. So, I mean, I don't. I would say their X factor would have to be on defense, but I can't just choose. I don't know. Do I say Fee? She cuts her game back and allows them to be the focal point. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, you
it's hard.
can.
It's
It's kind
hard
of
to
a cop
find.
out answer.
I mean, you know what I mean, but it could be what happens. They try to load up on Fee and then all of a sudden, okay, then you got to stop the damn bull from running, which is Courtney's getting off, Bridget's getting open, Kayla's getting open. It's just like hell. Any given night, any of them can be the X factor. But I mean,
No,
I
exactly.
guess I guess if I had to choose, just to close it out, Courtney Williams.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, she's
this
kind
is
of been
this
like the
is
belle of the ball lately, but okay.
yeah. I mean, because if they just totally contain her, they stop her assists, they stop her mid ranges, they stop her
Fuck,
attack.
man. Yeah.
Then what? Like that's one element that's not going to be there. Then what? Then what happens? Cheryl Reeves does what? Swap her out in the lineups or something? Like, yeah, that's probably the way. But then again, what what are the Lynx going to switch to? You know what I mean? Like they have the ability to switch to something else. So
Yeah. Um. No, I like that. I like that. I mean, man, looking at Courtney Williams' game log from the playoffs, man, it's fucking insane, dude.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's why I just went on and picked her because it's like if you get her off kilter, then you
Because
got
a
a
lot of
chance.
hers, other than like relocation for like corner threes, everything she's doing is off the dribble. That's what's
Hmm.
crazier.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
like
she's like,
whoever, which is why I think actually, I think Leone's gonna have to be put on her. I really do. Maybe Kayla, but I think she's gonna have to. They're not gonna
mm,
want Sabrina running around that much. You know what I'm saying?
that's not gonna
So
work.
it's not. No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
but I think okay. This is what's crazy is that like as deep as they are, the Lynx for the most part also only go like 8 deep. But
Mm,
those right three, Heinz Allen, Zandelsani, right, or Sandelzini, and
hmm.
Natisha Hiedemann,
Hmm.
like it's
Yeah.
crazy how like each of them pop off
Yeah. It
like
is, and you
out
don't
of
know when it's gonna
nowhere.
happen. You don't know when it's
No,
gonna
you
happen.
don't. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My X Factor again. I can just pick from one of those three. I'm gonna pick Natisha Hiedemann.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
just like they saw in Game 4, you know,
Yeah.
um, 16 points, efficient 16, right? I think like 16 on 6 of 10 shooting, right? In 23 minutes, she played 23 minutes because she was that hot. Like
Right.
of the non-starters, she has like she's kind of like a whatever, like a Jamal
Right.
Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like when she is catches fire,
Yeah.
like no, they will not pull her. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like that again is something kind of same logic as Sloot, but like I don't know. I don't know if Sloot could really like realistically still give you like 20 off the bench. Maybe.
Maybe
Maybe.
once out of the
You know,
five.
so yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then and we call her an X Factor, then for the same reason, I'm gonna say Natisha Hiedemann because that's the same thing. Like she does have that ability. Now, is it likely? I don't know, right? She has to find like that early groove. But if she does, because that's the thing. If you're getting that level of production, like for me, I feel because as you said, since the links are so deep
Hmm.
and it's almost like a machine, they can afford to have like maybe one starter score below their average and they'll find a way to pick up, the points elsewhere. Like
Yeah.
I don't think the Liberty have that luxury. Not that
No,
they're not a deep team. It's just their depth does
it's not
they're not
scoring.
they're not scoring,
Yeah.
right? That's why I'm saying like if someone like Natisha Hiedemann does that off the bench, like it's a wrap. Or at least that game is a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
there's no way you can like, make up that deficit. So yeah. I mean, any final thoughts?
Nope. Just ready for the finals to start.
Actually no. One before we close. What is the one matchup that you're most eager to see in this finals?
I mean, if we see you already know it's the unrivaled matchup.
Okay.
Fee versus Brianna.
Nice. Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's the obvious one. I mean, if I had to pick one that people can talk about, it would be Courtney versus Sabrina.
That'll be an interesting one. That'll be an interesting one. I
Hmm.
think really Leonie versus whoever she's guarding. Because
We'll
that's going
see.
to tell you a lot. That's going to tell you a lot. And then John Quell versus Fee.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We shall see.
Because I mean they gotta control, right? The Liberty. I mean, obviously we're speaking like we believe the Lynx have an advantage. So that's what I'm saying, right? Like the Liberty have to aim to like contain some aspect, you know, of the game.
I don't think John Quill can guard Fee in this series.
Well, I mean, who's more likely though, I'm saying, to be defending the paint? John Quell or Stewie? If you want to say Stewie, then fine.
Stewie's capable. She's more than
Capable, but I feel like isn't John Quell more often, you know, around the block? So
yeah, but I don't with Fee like being able to. She's 3 levels, so you pull John Quill out the paint, then what? Courtney Williams is beating her defender off the dribble and going downhill. If Brianna's not somewhere nearby, then that's a wash. You know, like I think Brianna needs to guard Fee. That way John Quill can be the rim protector, be a threat at the rim. You know what I mean? Like Brianna's good in pick and roll defense, and she's good, you know, when you get to the rim. But if John Quill is not down there, like that help is gone. Then it's just an easy little skip pass or something like that. You know what I mean? And we've seen it from Courtney too. So I don't think that they should match up John Quill with Fee. Maybe if she's just trying to execute from the post exclusively or like more than anywhere else on the floor. But other than that, I don't know, man. Like that's good luck. Because Fee is like crazy right now. She's still like slept on crazy. Like slept on crazy good. You know what I mean?
we shall see. We shall see.
It's interesting. Right. It's making me wish it started tomorrow.
No, I need a break. So
well, no, now that you mentioned that, yeah, I need a break too. For real.
All right, let's close it out. Finals predictions. It's okay, even if you.
3-1, of course.
Lynx.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lynx get game 3.
Sorry to sound unoriginal, but yeah, Lynx in 4.
Yeah.
So.
Or I mean, Liberty get game 3. I'm sorry.
If we're wrong, I look forward to it because I really want to see what potential counters Sandy Brondello has in mind,
right?
You know, if any. So we shall see. We shall see.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Right. We'll see y'all once the finals begin. So y'all enjoy. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. What's not listed down here is at EMW Pod. Make sure y'all follow that Twitter account because there's a lot of stuff coming out of there too. And we'll see y'all next time.
Take care.